In the electrified atmosphere of Chicago's bustling television studios, where the hum of anticipation always lingers like a half-sung melody waiting for its crescendo, the taping of the Jennifer Hudson show on a balmy September evening in 2025 promised to be a symphony of soul-stirring revelations and star-studded glamour. Jennifer Hudson, the Grammy-winning powerhouse whose voice had catapulted her from American Idol's 7th season in 2004 to an EGOT status by 2022, Emmy for her talk show, Grammy for her albums, Oscar for Dreamgirls, and Tony for producing a Broadway revival, had built her daytime empire on the bedrock of unfiltered authenticity, blending her Chicago roots with Hollywood polish to create segments that felt like family reunions laced with confetti and catharsis. At 44, J. Hud, as fans affectionately called her, radiated a warmth that could thaw the iciest celebrity reserve, her curves hugged by a vibrant red sheath dress that echoed the passion of her powerhouse ballads, her signature bob haircut framing a face that lit up with genuine curiosity during interviews. That day, the guest of honor was none other than Mariah Carey, the elusive songbird supreme, whose 5-octave vocal range and chart-topping legacy spanning over 3 decades made her a living legend at 55. Mariah, fresh off a sold-out Las Vegas residency celebrating the 30th anniversary of her iconic album Butterfly, arrived at the studio in a swirl of mystique, her entourage a phalanx of stylists, bodyguards, and her ever-present Pomeranian, a fluffy white sentinel named Princess Diamond. Draped in a custom Versace gown of shimmering midnight blue silk that cascaded like a waterfall of midnight stars, accented by diamond chokers that rivaled the Hope diamond in sparkle, Mariah's entrance turned heads, her honey blonde curls bounced with each step, and her iconic smile, equal parts enigmatic and electric, hid the steel resolve of a woman who had weathered tabloid storms, personal heartbreaks, and the relentless scrutiny of fame since her 1990 debut with Vision of Love. The audience, a diverse tapestry of Midwestern families, superfans in MC Army, tees, and industry insiders clutching notepads, erupted in cheers as the overture swelled, a medley of Mariah's hits remixed with Jennifer's soulful flourishes. Backstage, the chemistry sparked immediately, Jennifer, pulling Mariah into a bear hug that spoke of mutual admiration. After all, J. Hud had covered emotions during her Idol days and had once tweeted that Mariah was her vocal North Star, whispered, "Sis, we're gonna have the time of our lives today." No holds barred. Mariah, sipping from a crystal flute of sparkling water infused with her signature rose essence, nodded with that knowing glint in her eye, her laughter a cascade of crystalline notes. The show opened with flair, Jennifer belting a snippet of We Belong Together, transitioning seamlessly into a heartfelt intro praising Mariah's resilience, from her turbulent marriage to Tommy Mottola in the 90s, exposed in her 2020 memoir The Meaning of Mariah Carey, to her triumphant comeback with 2023's Cautionary Tale, an album that blended R&B nostalgia with introspective pop anthems about aging gracefully in an industry that devours its icons. As the cameras rolled, the set, a cozy yet opulent space with velvet armchairs in jewel tones, a grand piano stage left for impromptu duets, and a massive screen cycling through throwback clips of Mariah's MTV Unplugged, vibrated with energy. Jennifer kicked off with levity, gushing over Mariah's holiday dominance. "Girl, all I want for Christmas is you has made more billionaires than the lottery, how does it feel to own December?" Mariah's response was pure charm, her hands fluttering like butterflies as she quipped, "Darling, it's my gift to the world, endless joy and royalties that fund my shoe collection." Laughter rippled through the crowd, and the segment flowed like honey. Stories of Mariah mentoring young vocalists via her #Justice for Black Voices initiative, behind-the-scenes tales from her 2024 Glitter remake reboot that cast a diverse ensemble including rising stars like SZA and Chloe Bailey, and even a lighthearted roast of her diva reputation. "Yes, I travel with my own humidifier, but only because dry air is the real thief in the night." Fans at home, streaming on Peacock or catching the syndication wave, leaned in, enchanted by the sisterhood on display. Social media buzzed with heart emojis and clips of their synchronized giggles. But as the interview deepened, Jennifer, ever the storyteller with a journalist's edge sharpened by her role in Respect as Aretha Franklin, pivoted to the heart of Mariah's narrative, vulnerability. "Mariah, in your book, you laid bare the bipolar diagnosis that nearly broke you in 2001, the institutionalization that tabloids twisted into scandal. You've said it was your rebirth, but how do you handle the trolls who still call you unstable when you post a selfie in sweatpants?" The question, meant as an olive branch from one survivor to another, Jennifer, having navigated her own grief after the 2008 murders of her family, hung in the air, sincere yet probing. Mariah's expression shifted subtly, her luminous brown eyes clouding like a sudden storm over a serene sea. She had shared these depths before, on Oprah, on her own holiday specials, but in the intimate glare of studio lights, with 300 witnesses and millions watching, it felt exposing anew. "Jen, it's exhausting," Mariah admitted, her voice dropping to that husky register reserved for ballads like Hero. "I turned pain into platinum records, but some folks prefer the myth of the meltdown over the woman who rose." Jennifer nodded empathetically, leaning forward, her gold hoop earrings swaying. "Preach, sis, I lost my world too, but look at us, turning scars into symphonies. But real talk, don't you ever regret glamorizing that diva persona early on? It set a bar so high, even for queens like us, that it invites judgment when we're just human." The pivot was subtle, a bridge from shared trauma to cultural critique, but to Mariah, it echoed like an unintended indictment, a reminder of the 90s media machine that had once labeled her difficult for demanding creative control, pitting her against Whitney, against the boys' club of pop. The audience hushed, sensing the undercurrent. A few fans exchanged wide-eyed glances, phones poised for the inevitable viral moment. Mariah's manicured fingers, nails a glossy crimson, tapped rhythmically on her knee, a telltale sign of brewing tempest. "Glamorizing, darling, I was surviving in a man's world, demanding what I deserved. You get it, you fought for your spot too. But let's not rewrite history to fit a narrative that diminishes my hustle." Jennifer, caught in the crossfire of her own candor, pressed gently, her southern lilt softening the edge. "I'm not diminishing, Mariah, I'm celebrating the evolution. But admit it, that butterfly necklace and those whispers weren't always wings, sometimes they were weights." It was the spark, a mix of admiration and analysis that Mariah, protective of her legacy like a lioness over her cubs, interpreted as overreach. Her body language closed like a velvet curtain, shoulders squared, chin lifted in that regal tilt, the room's temperature seeming to drop 10 degrees. "Weights, Jennifer, I've carried more than you know, nickel and dimed by execs, gaslit by lovers, dissected by fans. This isn't a TED Talk on my persona, it's my life." The words landed with the precision of a high C, sharp and unyielding. Jennifer's eyes widened, her hands rising in a placating gesture, the audience gasping in unison as the energy flipped from harmonious to hazardous. Mariah rose fluidly, her gown whispering against the floor like a sigh of silk, snatching her clutch with a flourish that sent her bracelets jangling like warning bells. "I appreciate the platform, but this heat, I'm out, got a falsetto to save for someone who hears the melody, not the minor key." With that, she pivoted on her stilettos, striding toward the wings with the poise of a runway finale, her team materializing like stagehands in a well-rehearsed exit. Jennifer, stunned but swift, called after her, "Mariah, wait, love you, sis," but the diva was gone, the door clicking shut like the final note of a dramatic aria. The band struck up a hasty cover of Vision of Love to bridge the void, but the damage was done, commercials rolled, and the internet awoke with a roar. #Mariah Walks Off trended globally within seconds, clips exploding across TikTok, X, and Instagram Reels, fans torn between, J Hud crossed the line, trauma ain't tea time. And, Mariah's too fragile for real talk, grow up, lamb. What began as a celebration of vocal royalty devolved into a masterclass in celebrity fragility, exposing the razor-thin line between sisterly sparring and spotlight shrapnel in the Coliseum of confessional TV. As producers scrambled backstage, feeding ice water to a flushed Jennifer and dispatching flax to spin the narrative, passionate exchange, all love, Mariah, ensconced in her limo en route to O'Hare for a red-eyed Aspen, exhaled a breath she didn't know she'd been holding, tweeting cryptically, "When the song changes, so does the dance. Grateful for real ones." #Songbird soars. The walk-off wasn't mere meltdown, it was manifesto, a reminder that even legends have limits, and in the echo chamber of fame, one wrong chord can shatter the symphony. As the digital dust settled in the wake of Mariah Carey's dramatic departure from the Jennifer Hudson show, the narrative unfurled across the mediascape like a tabloid tornado, whipping up frenzied speculation, partisan defenses, and armchair autopsies that dominated water-cooler chats from Wrigleyville to WeHo. By midnight, the clip had amassed 50 million views, dissected frame by frame on platforms where algorithms feasted on feud fodder. Viral edits synced Mariah's exit strut to the beat of Heartbreaker, while reaction videos from influencers like Tinashe and Lizzo weighed in with nuanced takes. Queens colliding ain't chaos, it's clarity on boundaries. Jennifer Hudson, ever the trooper with a resilience forged in the fires of her own public trials, from the 2004 Idol elimination that birthed her stardom to the 2012 custody battle post-family tragedy, regrouped in her dressing room, surrounded by a cadre of producers nursing coffees laced with regret. The set, still humming with post-taping energy, felt hollow without its star guest. The grand piano sat silent, a poignant prop to the unfinished duet that might have been. Jennifer, shedding her red dress for a comfy tracksuit emblazoned with her talk show's logo, scrolled through the onslaught, her laughter turning to sighs as she read the vitriol. J. Hud tried to therapize Mariah, cancel her. Versus, finally, someone calls out the diva delusion. Leaning back on a makeup chair, she confided to her head writer, a sharp-witted Chicago native named Lena, "I want a depth, not a duel. Thought we were bonding over the battles we've both won." Lena nodded, tapping out a draft apology on her laptop. To Mariah and the Lambs, "My heart was in the harmony, but I hit a sour note. Admiration, not analysis, always. Let's remix this soon." By dawn, Jennifer posted it to Instagram, a selfie of her in bed with bedhead and a mug of tea, captioning it with lyrics from Mariah's own "I'll Be There. You and I must make a pact, we must bring salvation back." The gesture, raw and rhythmic, softened the sharpest critics, earning reposts from celebs like Ariana Grande, J. Hud's Gold, MC's Eternal Love Wins, and sparking a wave of supportive DMs that reminded her why she launched the show in 2022, to foster connection, not contention. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, Mariah having detoured to a private jet for a spontaneous London layover to consult her vocal coach, the Songbird Supreme transformed the tempest into triumph. Holed up in a Mayfair penthouse suite overlooking the Thames, its fog-shrouded spires a metaphor for fame's misty veils, Mariah convened her inner circle, her manager Stella B., a no-nonsense Brit with a Rolodex of A-listers, her therapist Drive Elena, who specialized in high-profile HSPs, highly sensitive persons, and her ride-or-die backup singers, the Murray Twins, whose harmonies had anchored her tours since Daydream. Over a spread of caviar blinis and her custom mocktail, the Mariah Mimosa, sparkling cider with elderflower, they strategized, "No knee."